Happy Sunday night, everybody, and welcome to the Park Adventurers Club. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you guys, as always, for being with us. We appreciate you putting aside Oscar night. I'm sure you're recording it, making sure to fast forward through it afterwards, and that you're here with us live it means the world. So thank you guys so much for being with us. Tonight, we're going to be talking about our experiences at Tokyo Disney, our guide to Tokyo Disney, and we hope you guys are here for that and are ready to talk about that. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. It's the Park Adventurers Club. We do a lot of cool stuff. We'll tell you more about it at the end, and also give us a thumbs up as it helps people to find us. And who's us tonight? Well, I couldn't think of a better person to come to about Tokyo than this lady. It's Annie. What's going on?
Thank you. Hey, what's up?
I was actually going to have three of us on because my friend Maleko, who we've talked to on A Look on the Plus Side, he's from Hawaii. He and his wife went to Tokyo Disney last year. I gave them some advice before they went, and so I thought I would get like their take on it. Apparently, Hawaii has been under a lot of storms, and they lost power. He actually texted me via satellite to let me know and to let you guys know that he was sorry he couldn't make it, but that's okay. We got too much information to go over anyway between the two of us. I know that we get a lot of excitement about this. I personally never thought that I would go, honestly. When I was younger, we always went to Disney World, and then when I was an adult is when I went to Disneyland for the first time, and I was like, wow, this is exotic. I can't believe I'm here. Then I went to Disneyland Paris, which was Euro Disney at the time. Went there for just like a day, and then when Tokyo came up, I was like, man, I gotta go. And I looked to Annie, and I was like, Annie, you seem to go a lot. Tell me all your secrets. When was the first time you went, and what made you first decide to go?
The first time I went was in 2019, and I just was trying to do all of the Disney parks around the world, so you got to go to that one. And actually, when I went in 2019, I didn't really enjoy it because I think it's one of those parks that if you don't know what you're doing, it can be a disaster. And I think it was not a disaster, but I just was overwhelmed with some of the crowds and things the first trip. So I wasn't that crazy about it. But then after, I think it was 2023, I went back and I fell in love. And now it's my favorite. So
you didn't love it the first time?
No, I know.
Wow.
I did not. I did not.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have a tale of two stories then. First of all, just so you guys know, if you're new to this show, we run it like a meeting. This is the Park Adventurers Club. The agenda we have is very sparse tonight because we're only going to be talking about Tokyo. Normally, we talk about the big 5 stories in theme park news for the past week. We're going to move to strike that for tonight. We're going to talk about Tokyo Disney and what you need to know. And then on top of that, we'll tell you what's coming up for not only this channel, but for Annie's channel as well. So stick around for that. Here's the way I'd like to break this down, though, is I want to talk about this in groupings and kind of walk people through. And if you guys are in the chat and you have questions, please hit us up. Let us know that you have questions. We'll try our best to answer the questions that you guys have. But I think the first question that we had when we went to go is like, when are we going to go? Because Tokyo, and you could probably speak to this more than I can because you've been different times of the year. Tokyo during the summer is apparently crazy hot. And like, this is from people that I've talked to from Florida have been like, no, I'm not going in the summer. And then if you go too far into the fall, you're talking about like typhoon season. I mean, like there's a lot of like rain and then if you go during the holidays, it's kind of crazy. So personally, we went in October. Actually, it was September into October. It was a great time for us to go because it was the beginning of Halloween time then. What is your opinion on what the best time to go is?
Ooh, I like going in December. It's cold and it's dry, but it's crowded. I will say that. if you can, like you said, summer is so insanely hot and humid. If you can tolerate that, you think you can and you can't, I promise you. As someone that lives in Florida and goes to the theme parks every day in this heat, I have a hard time in summer in Tokyo, but there's no crowds. It's empty. So if you're willing to, trade off, but my personal favorite time is like weather-wise and would be December.
Yeah, I mean for me, December is just so busy, like for like, real life, that it makes it kind of tough to go. Plus, there's a lot of things domestically with the like Jollywood or Universal that I just want to do. So, and I don't get many vacations, so I got to choose wisely. This was actually the longest vacation I've taken in decades. We went to Tokyo for 2 weeks, and we'll talk about how long we think we need. And it's specifically, again, tonight, we're really kind of talking about Tokyo Disney Resort, not necessarily all of Tokyo. So I would definitely advise that you go and add some time on to actually experience Tokyo. I feel like as a Disney person that gets like beat up from my older brother all the time about you go way too much. I can't imagine how he would have reacted had I not done one other thing in Tokyo other than actually going to Tokyo Disney. But you know what? That was the main reason we went. You should plan far in advance, because flights get very expensive, and I think for us the flights were half of the cost because the four of us went, half of the cost of the entire trip. So I would recommend 180 days at least ahead of time to book an airline. What would you say?
Oh, I mean, as early as you can that the dates. What airline do you like to fly, by the way? What airline did you fly?
I think that's two different questions. Which one do I like to
Sorry.
fly, or which one
Okay,
which one
sorry.
was
Let me take that
which was
back.
the
What airline did you fly to Tokyo with?
Well, since we don't have any sponsorships here, I'm gonna go ahead and say we did American. I don't usually choose American, but we did American because of the way that the flights worked out. We're on the East Coast. We flew from East Coast to Dallas, and then Dallas it was one flight, and we went into Haneda. Is that where you usually fly into? Is Haneda?
We switch back and forth. It just kind of depends on what uh, is cheap, I guess. Cheapest, cheaper.
Yeah, kind
But
of like
they're both pretty easy airports to get through. So
when I was getting ready to go, and our Park Adventurers Club friend Mike from Mike's Adventures had kind of given me some guidance, and I talked to a couple other people who had gone, and their guidance was Haneda was the place to fly into if you're going to Tokyo Disney Resort. And we started at Tokyo Disney. We didn't end there, but we started there, so
yeah.
that's where I flew into. But I know Narita is the other one that you can do. I feel like it's kind of like when you go out to California. Santa Ana is a much easier drive to Disneyland, but LAX is usually more flights are available. It's cheaper, but it's kind of a give and take. So I don't know what the give and take is of Narita. Like, what are there any downsides?
Well, just what we've had happen was we like to take the bus originally, and we had times where we arrived and the bus tickets were sold out. So there was another time we booked them in advance, and the plane was a little late, so we missed the bus. So in my experience, Narita was not always as easy. But when we've gone into Haneda, it's been super easy. But I think we just gave up on the buses at that point.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that could be the case. I was actually afraid to take the bus because we were coming with a lot of luggage. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's easy, just take the train," and that is a thing you can do. So once you land there, you can take the.
I did that once.
There was this movie with Joe Piscopo and Michael Keaton called Johnny Dangerously, and in the movie he says, "My mother hung me on a hook once," and it sounds like that's what you're talking about here. It's like I did the train once. Tell me why that's a
Yeah.
nightmare. Tell me why you shouldn't do that.
It was one of those times when we had missed the bus and there was, no option other than taking the train. But like, it was just taking the luggage there that was difficult and getting up the stairs. And then we got there. Luckily, one of the people working came over and helped us with buying tickets, but we were just like, we have no idea what to do. We can't even figure out how to switch it out of Japanese. I don't know what's happening. It felt a lot of extra stress for just us, and lugging the suitcases around is the thing. The bus, I didn't have a problem with. You kind of you put it on the bus, you get it off the bus. There you go. But the train, oh no, one and done for me. I
So when we were going, and again, it was 4 adults for us, and each of us had our own suitcase. And Jungle Cruiser had asked the question a little bit earlier, like what was the recommendation for what to pack? Because he's like, how do I get 10 popcorn buckets back from Japan? We did the trick, which I've done a ton of times, especially going to California, where we take the small roller bag suitcase, then I fill that up with clothes, and then I take that one, I put it inside a bigger one. So now that bigger one is going to be the one that I use for souvenirs on the way back. If it's breakable, then I have to change the game plan, and I'll maybe put the stuff that's breakable in the rollerboard, the dirty clothes into the larger suitcase, maybe use the clothes that I have to pack around the popcorn bucket. Popcorn buckets scare the crap out of me, though, for transporting, because they're, especially the ones from Japan, because they're so intricate. I worry about them making it back, especially through like multiple airlines. So, but the way we went 4 of us with 4 suitcases like sandwich like that. But I was able to find a suitcase that I could put in another suitcase that I could put into another suitcase. So I had 3 suitcases, and everyone else had 2, and we still came back like barely making it. And I actually had to get on the way there. We took an Uber, which wasn't a problem. It was fine, and it was fairly affordable, and they're super nice, and they don't ask for tips, and like that's insulting almost, because they pay them well, so they don't need tips. The gentleman had like white gloves on when he was there. He certainly did give us a couple looks about how many suitcases we had, but we got into an Uber. It was like a Dodge Sprinter type of a vehicle, and then we took that to I think it was like a 45-minute ride from Haneda to our hotel at Disneyland, and it worked out fine, and it was not expensive at all. Now on the way back, I did a transfer because we had 9 bags, and so stop it. There were 4 of us. Stop it. Stop with the face.
No, like I'm just thinking of Matryoshka, the Russian nesting dolls, all like your suitcases, like all of a sudden you get there and then just
100% what we were doing. It was kind of crazy, but it's, you don't know, like the very first time, you don't know, what are we going to buy? What are we going to find that we want? You don't want to get over there and find out you can't bring things back. I think that with popcorn buckets, I looked into it, and you can't even ship them back because they consider that a food item, even though it's a bucket. They consider it a food item, and therefore you can't send food items back from Japan. So,
send your clothes. Again,
what about clothes?
Send your clothes. Pack the box with your clothes. Ship the clothes back. Just nothing but popcorn buckets.
We actually had the conversation about, should we take clothes that we would throw away? Like, I mean, not to sound wasteful or anything, but if you take the socks with the elastic broken and everything, why not, right?
I had to leave behind my favorite pair of pink, like bright pink Doc Marten boots, because I couldn't fit the Shanghai Tron light cycle popcorn bucket in with the boots, and I had to leave them behind, and I hated myself for that because I love those boots, and I didn't even need to wear them. It didn't even rain. I prepared for like bad weather, and it didn't, but I miss those boots to this day. But that Tron popcorn bucket's right here, and it lights up, and it's just as happy.
Very good. I'm very jealous. All right, so let's kind of recap a little bit. So we've talked about when to go, and we've talked about how to fly and how to get there, and booking in advance. But then the next question is, how long do you stay? For us, the very first time we went, I did an after 4 ticket, and we'll talk about tickets and break down on that. I did an after 4 ticket for when we got there, because the time shift was such that we were going to have to do dinner once we landed. We got there at like 3 p.m. So we left here at like 7 a.m. on like the day on Sunday, and we ended up getting there at 3 p.m. on Monday, which is will mess with your mind like nothing else. And so we got there at like 3:30 p.m. on Monday, and I wanted to make sure that we kind of tried to get over the jet lag, and so I was like, let's just stay up. We'll go to the hotel. We'll check in. We'll go do an after 4 ticket, or maybe after 5. Well, again, we'll talk about tickets in a minute. But we'll go over to the park and do a late night ticket, and then we'll use that ticket to get in, walk around, get our bearings, and then do dinner there. No, we'll do dinner there and then come back and go to bed. Yeah. And so the parks close at 9, which bothers me. But that night, I think my family was thankful that the parks were closing at 9, because otherwise I would have kept them there later for 100%. That would have happened. So we went over and did that. And we went into Tokyo Disneyland first. Now, there are 2 parks, Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo DisneySea. I have a thing about going to the castle park first. It's like it's inherent in me that I feel like as like a traditionalist, I want to go to the castle park first. So we did that night, because the next day was the last day for Journey to the Center of the Earth. And I was like, well, we definitely need to go to DisneySea tomorrow. So we did Disneyland first day, like for a couple hours, went in, did that, had dinner, and then did the next. So we did a half a day, 3 hours. Then we did 4 days, because at the time, park hopping tickets were not available. I looked on today, and it looks like maybe there are some available. I don't know what the circumstances are for them, but you couldn't get park hopping tickets. So it was, you only could buy specific days. So I bought Tokyo DisneySea and then Disneyland Sea and Land. So we did 4 full days, and then 1 day of, or like the first night there. So that takes up 5 days of the trip if you include travel. So then we did another 5 in Tokyo and then flew home. So we did 12 days with travel, Disneyland, and Tokyo. What would you recommend just for Disneyland?
I'm with you on the 5, or the half day. It seems like a lot of the flights arrive where you get in it at 3 o'clock, because that's also the same with us. Like that 3 to 5 range, you get there and you can still get in the park and enjoy a little bit of it at night. But I think 4 to 5 days you really need. Disney Sea is massive. I mean, I don't think you can explain to people how big that park is. Like, you need at least 2 days there, if not 3.
Yeah. Okay. So you think 4 days is a good amount to do? Because again, I was
Yeah.
recommended anywhere from like 2 to 5 days. So
Oh,
yeah, I think for the
yeah.
first time, really a day per park is not enough, and you need to do, like, you do the first day to get your wow factor out of the way and to do the things you want to do, and then you go back and either redo things or like back clean up on the things that you missed the first time. And even with as many things that were closed, and as many things as like we redid a few things, we missed a bunch still. So and then
Wow.
also you may want to take some time to go through the hotels. For the first trip, we didn't do that. And then also you may want to go to Expiari,
Oh, yeah.
and we didn't do that either, which is their downtown Disney. So, there was a lot that we still could have done. I mean, but we'll tell you all about what you can do, and then you can make your decisions from there. So let's talk about the hotels. Actually, let me back up a second and let me show you what the resort area looks like. So this is a Google map of what the Tokyo Disney looks like, and it looks like a little bit of a mess. So I took the liberty, and please don't judge me, or I didn't have time to build this to scale or paint it, as Doc would say. But this is kind of a rough look at how the resort pans out. So the big yellow area is Tokyo Disneyland. The big green area is Tokyo DisneySea. And the pink areas you see are the Disney-owned hotels. There are 6. You only see 5 because there's one that's like a gajillion miles away. And so yeah, we'll talk about all of them. But as you can see, there are 5 in this picture, as well as the Hilton Tokyo Bay. is in there too. So this is just so you get an estimate of what's going on. And that red line that you see is the monorail. So the monorail is more than just a ride here. It's more than just an experience. It is a necessary mode of transportation for you to go from one park to the next. The other thing that I find so interesting, Annie, about this resort versus, say, Disneyland is that at Disneyland, you have everybody who is used to that has two parks and an esplanade in between. And it's so funny to see people run back and forth. It's like they're in and they see Fantasmic and they scurry across and they see World of Color and they scurry back across and they see Wondrous and they scurry. Like you can run back and forth. You can literally park hop. You can literally throw a rock from one to the other. These, instead of being front to front, are back to back. And so you can't really, like, the two entrances are as far away as you could possibly get from each other, even though the parks touch each other, which is smart from a Tokyo Disney standpoint for like having all their operations in the middle. But from a standpoint of accounting for your time and how you get into the parks, you really kind of do need to get on the monorail to go from one to the next. So any thoughts on that before we get into the hotel breakdown?
No, you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that though, because I hadn't really thought about that whole being able to run back and forth like Islands and Universal and
Yeah.
Disneyland and DCA. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Did you like my drawing? Did I do a good job?
I loved it. I loved
Okay.
it. That's some good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So when it comes to hotels, there are two options. There's Disney and not Disney. I chose not Disney. But here are the 6 hotels. There's Celebration Hotel. That's the one that's like not on that map because it's much further away. There's the Toy Story Hotel, the Ambassador Hotel, the Disneyland Hotel, Miracosta, and Fantasy Springs, and they're kind of in the order of like value to like what they call luxury. So Fantasy Springs is kind of in the luxury model. Not Disney, Hilton Tokyo Bay, the Sheraton Grand, the Hotel Okura, and the Tokyo Bay Miami Hotel First Resort, which is so Japanese to American translation. It just makes me laugh. But again, so these are the hotel listed. I chose to stay at the Hilton Tokyo Bay because I started looking into the packages as you had suggested when you and I started talking. And so the hotel packages are great. And I don't know how detailed we want to get into the packages, but that's the thing you want because you're staying at a Disney hotel. You get the happy entry, and then you also get the opportunity for the packages. So you've stayed at the Disney hotels. Talk a little bit about which one's your favorite and why you would recommend staying at a Disney hotel.
I've stayed at all of the Tokyo Disney hotels. I love the happy entry perk. I think Miracosta is probably my favorite because that park view and that little park and in and out entrance, it has its own exclusive entrance. And only Fantasy Springs and Miracosta get happy entry for DisneySea. So I feel like Miracosta is like the number one pick for me. But you'd be surprised because I also love the Toy Story Hotel, which is like their value hotel.
Yeah. Well, and the hotel we stayed in, the Hilton Tokyo Bay, was literally next door.
I know those other hotels, the non-Disney hotels have such a great location and like you get so much from what I'm hearing. I really want to hear everything from you
Yeah.
because I've always wanted to. It's just the luggage thing again, moving all the luggage is what concerns me going from places.
Well, and honestly, and again, we could do a separate video about this, and you have them. If you guys go to Adventuring with Annie, she has tons of videos that are very specifically break down the packages and how you buy a package. But the packages, like when she and I were talking about it, I was like, wait a minute, what? Because when you put the packages together, there are certain packages, and some are worth it, and some are not. And it depends on what they're giving you as far as the reservations go. And we'll talk about the reservations and the different tiers of those as well when we get into tickets and such. Ooh, did you want to like flex a little bit here on us?
I just, I figured we might mention it and I thought I would just, wave it up on the screen.
You know
It's
I
got
love
all
paper.
my little bits and papers in there, too, from the last trip. So,
Yeah, you know I love paper. All
uh-huh.
right, so again, when you go to this and you get into the thick of the packages, they're 1 and 2 night packages, and I just couldn't do like figure it out in my head of like, okay, we're arriving at 3:30 on the Monday, and then we go in, and then we get so we'd stay there that night, and then we'd get happy entry the next morning, and then we'd go to okay, and then we gotta move our stuff, which my wife hates moving stuff. Now we only stayed at the Hilton Tokyo Bay for the Disney part of our trip, and then we kind of brought that to a close, and then we moved hotels and went to another area and stayed there so that we could go in and out of Tokyo a little bit more accessibly. So because as you see again from this map, this is right on like the water. This is right on the peninsula. This is like close to nothing basically. It's all the way over here. So it is an island unto itself on an island. So I would recommend that if you're going to go and stay in Tokyo, and we can talk about that in another video, but if you're going to stay in Tokyo, that maybe you do your Disney stuff here and then you move. But the packages were 1 and 2 night, which meant, and I think you've said this before, is like you would do 1 or 2 nights and then you would book extra nights or book a second package.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you do two packages, you have to book a separate night in between them so they don't overlap. It's it's a little complicated.
It's a shell game. It's a shell game. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very complicated. So anyway, that's the package thing and the happy entry, and that's great. But the one thing that I went and looked at again, I'm paying for a family of 4 to fly across the world, literally the other side of the world. And I was like, okay, the flights are expensive. The hotels can be a little pricey when you get into these Disney hotels. Now, Disneyland hotels are pretty pricey in themselves. So, like Disney World hotels are pricey, Disneyland hotels are super pricey. These are around Disneyland prices. Like they're not like insane compared to Disneyland. But like as I pull up the website here and you see this like the start, and I pulled this up. This is the Disneyland Tokyo Disneyland Hotel. This is for July 1st, just so I could get a feeling for it. Here's the different levels that you can do. So this one here that is 64,500 yen. That's $400 a night currently. It's a 63 cent exchange rate to 100 yen to the dollar, I believe. So, but it's $404 a night for the cheap one. I mean, now the Tokyo Disneyland isn't the cheapest. Obviously, you could go super far away and stay at the Celebration, but then what are we even doing? It's not even on the monorail. But that's 64,500 yen, and again, that's like $400. If you were staying at the one that I stayed at, which was the Hilton Tokyo Bay, it's about 27,000 yen to start, which is about $170. We paid about $240 a night.
Oh yeah, I figured it was probably about half, but you probably got a lot of extra perks, didn't you? Like, is it include breakfast or anything or
It didn't include breakfast, but it includes all
no?
the weird things that you get included in a hotel in Japan. You get the
There you
pajamas are
go.
in there, the slippers, the toothbrush kits, all that stuff is in there. We stayed at the Happy Magic Room Park View. Happy Magic Room. So
Wow.
here's a look at what it looks like. So you have a window that went open and opened. You could see the park out the window. We had 3 beds lined up. There were like 3 sort of single beds lined up, and then there were also bunk beds in the room. So
Oh.
my daughter, who is the youngest but not young, she was the one stuck in the bunk beds, and then the other 3 of us slept almost what felt like a big Willy Wonka style single bed because of the way they were all put together. But it was nice. I mean, it was a nice situation. Again, it was like $250 a night, I think, is what it ended up being at Hilton Tokyo Bay, and it was literally right across the street. Like I said, it was right next to Tokyo or the Toy Story Hotel, right next to it. It says as you were walking down you were walking with like side by side with the people who were walking from the Toy Story Hotel to get down to the monorail. So
Did you have an option for a bus to the parks from there?
I don't know because I wanted to be on the
I
monorail.
see.
So
Yeah, me.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be me too. That's why I was like, even if there was a bus, who would take it?
Well, yeah. I mean, like we want to do that.
Well, but
So
the monorail does cost money. So if there are people that maybe weren't wanting to pay for the monorail, maybe there is a bus option. I'm just
yeah.
throwing that out there as a thought, maybe.
So this is our room. This is a picture from the room that we were in. So as you can see,
Oh, I
like I
love
said, here
that.
there's the three beds, and then there's the bunk beds, and
Bunk
then
beds.
those
Oh,
doors were windows at the end. And then there was some weird like magical gnome that lived inside of one of the mirrors, and here's my kids standing, and you could like look in. This was in the by the elevators. You could
oh,
look inside this thing and see like dragons, and it was fun. I mean, again, it
that's
was
cool.
yeah, it was a nice. It was not expensive in comparison to the others, so I was okay doing that. Now, when you walk out, you look across the street, and there's this one. There's the Fantasy Springs Hotel, cha-ching. But that one's super nice. But you go across the street, and it's literally right across the street, and you get on the monorail, and it's Bayside Station is the monorail, and it's the same one for Toy Story and for Fantasy Springs if you're going somewhere other than into Tokyo Sea, because Fantasy Springs and Miracosta both have entrance right into Tokyo Sea. But if you're going somewhere else, if you're going to the shopping district, or if you're going to the Disneyland, you would get on this Bayside Station. So you and I talked about it a little bit ahead of time, and I bought one of these books for the monorail.
Oh,
Uh, so do you have one?
I don't, but I have a ton. My mom won't let me get one. My mom
Um,
said no. She's probably
so
watching. That's why I said that.
yeah, so these are all the tickets that we bought while I was there, and they're very very collectible. And each one you
Oh,
go to is a different has a different look
yes.
on it, and they have them with QR codes, or they have them with magnetic strips on the back. And so yeah, look, you got them too. Yeah,
I
but
don't
I got
have
a
a
book.
book. I need a
I got a
book. I
book.
know.
I know.
Mom sees making fun of me. See?
Look, look. I mean, just because I walked in there like a baller, right? So honestly, again, I loved doing this, but I'm glad that we did the night before so that we were like, we could do it at our own pace, because when you go in the morning, everybody's trying to get a ticket. The other thing is that we could have done that would have been smart is we could have gotten a 4-day ticket, but I was like, I want the different look. So we every day bought a different ticket, so that I could have a different, so the dad could have a different ticket for each day. So I've got like Duffy, and then there were some for Halloween time, and
Oh,
yeah.
cool. I
So,
love all the
uh,
special ones.
right, yeah, and
They
so it was
change
really
so often too.
they
It's so
do,
fun.
and so you just have to go back a lot, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, they definitely, and I have a shot here too of one of mine that I took
Oh,
right
I
at the
love that.
yeah. So, so we bought the tickets to the monorail. We got on the monorail, and it's pretty easy to navigate the monorail. They tell you sort of, which the next stop is, and when you're getting off on it, and it's a very cool experience because you get this like the Mickey windows, and it doesn't look like our monorail, and you can see across the street. There's the Toy Story Hotel right across the street. So once we get in there, we're looking back at the Toy Story Hotel, and if you look at those lights slightly to the right, that's the hotel we were in. So again, very close. But I love the monorail. It was a fun experience. And again, here's my family hanging on to like the little Mickey holders and riding through. And the music's there. They're very super clean. It was a great experience. Any thoughts you have on the monorail in particular?
I love that they decorate them for like seasonal stuff and holidays. At Christmas, they do a Christmas one, and there's a Duffy one with the Duffy seats. Their monorails are so much better than ours. They're not just monorails. They're treated like an attraction almost. Like they're
Yeah,
just loved on. I love it.
but they're also treated like transportation in the fact that you have to buy tickets.
Exactly,
So I
exactly.
mean that is let's be fair about that part is that you have to buy tickets to be able to use them. But yeah.
But
Uh,
aren't these monorails here at Disney World pretty unreliable, or is that kind of, I mean, I
no.
look at some of the lines leaving the parks and I hear about the monorails breaking down and I think to myself, you know what, I'd rather pay the $5.
Yeah.
Just
By the way, I
get me
see
home.
Mike has entered the chat, so now he will probably like double check everything that I'm telling you. So the vending machines are a thing in Tokyo in general. These are the ones that they had at the monorail station. Love the vending machines. Like it's one of those things. Vending machines and convenience stores are one of those things that everybody talks about, and you don't really understand it until you go. Like if you know, you know. Once you get there, you're like, oh no, no, I get it now because it's like a safety net. Like it's a piece of like home almost that you go to the vending machine and you can get something at any given time. Now, sometimes it's a crapshoot if you don't understand what it is you're pulling out of the vending machine. There were one or two things I drank that I wish I hadn't.
Yeah.
You
Sorry,
know what I'm talking
sweat.
about then.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was water. It was sweat.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually called that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the monorail system. Those are the hotels. Anything else on the hotel before we get into the parks? Honestly, again, I had a good time at the Hilton Tokyo Bay. I had no problems with that one. It was an affordable choice. It had a lot of stuff inside too. They have shops and they have a convenience store inside of that resort. They have actually two. It's really weird. And then they have a Disney gift shop. They have a vending machine area, a pool, which I assume people go to. I did not. But like the staff was super friendly. The place was super clean. The rooms were great. I had no problem staying there. But you stayed in all the Disney, and you said your favorite one is which in the Disney ones?
Miracosta. Miracosta.
Because you can just look out your window and see the amazing park of Tokyo DisneySea. So
Yeah, we really didn't even go into the park at that point. We just sat there and stared out the window.
okay, so the first night we got there, we went in and we did, like I said, we did the nighttime ticket, and it was like we got there at like 5 or 6, and then we walked in, and you're blown away by the park. But before you get into the park, you got to buy tickets. And like I said at the beginning, the tickets are uh, uh, you can buy them by ticket type. You can buy a 1 day passport, which you have to specify: am I going to Tokyo Disney Sea, or am I going to Tokyo Disneyland? And they're not all that expensive. I think it's like $60 American for a ticket into the park.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap. I mean, they obviously, like our tickets, kind of fluctuate the price a little bit if it's busier on weekends or holidays, but they're a lot cheaper than our tickets for a day.
Yeah. I bought the evening passport, like I said, and it says that guests can enjoy the selected park from 5 p.m. on weekdays with this ticket. So that was about $40, and I'm like, sure, like let's do that. Which again gave us the opportunity to go in low stakes, right? Because a lot of times, if it's like your only day there at like Disneyland, Disney World, even here, it's high stakes. You're like, I have to get the most out of this trip. This one was like, we expect nothing other than to go in, get a vibe of the place, figure out the monorail, eat a little bit, and again, it was like $40 a ticket. I was like, that is absolutely fun.
Isn't that how much it costs to park at the parks here? Like, I think it's $60 for prime parking at Universal. So, like, oh yeah, $60 to park in a parking spot, and or $60 to go into Tokyo Disneyland. Like,
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So it's a one. I bought these online, and again, I guess the question to make sure everybody knows is I bought them from the Tokyo Disneyland Resort website. If you go there and click English, you can buy everything and do it through English. The thing that was frustrating to me, Annie, and I don't know if you've had this problem because you buy the packages, is that if I wanted tickets for say the 17th, and I would go through and I'd buy them, and then if I wanted them for the 18th, I had to do like um, a different transaction, like for each individual
oh,
day. But again, you
oh,
usually buy the packages.
well, yeah, but we buy tickets in during the day. But because we stay at the hotel, you can buy them, and they have little paper tickets. So my mom is always like, should we buy them online to be fast? I'm like, no, let's go to get the paper ones. I must have the character ones.
See,
So
Andy, this is why you and I are friends, because we have the same problem.
yeah.
Because I mean, like, I want park maps. I want, and they didn't have any, by the way. They didn't have park maps. That was sad. But I want the tickets to the monorail. I want them for each individual day. I want any kind of tickets I can get. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. So, we bought 1 day passports, and we went in and I bought them for each individual day. And like I said, I bought the first night I bought for Tokyo Disneyland. We went in, did the thing. And then each individual day, I did a different day. I'm looking online, and there are something that is that says 1 day park hopper passport limited period. So apparently, right now they have them, but at the time they didn't. And I don't know that I would have wanted that, because you would have had to gotten on the monorail and traveled. I want to just take it all in where I am, and get as much done as I could.
Yeah, I think the park hopper is a nice option. It's not always offered. It wasn't available at any of the times I've been there, but I think there was a brief time last summer that it almost overlapped. But if you're only going for 1 day, so many people say to me, I only have 1 day. Which park should I go to? And it's so tough that I do suggest they get 1 day park ticket. And if they decide middle of the day they want to go see the other one, get one of those after 3 or after 5 p.m. tickets. But I feel like the if they bring a park hopper, if you only had 1 day, that might be a good option.
Yeah.
But they don't sell annual passes, so that's the other reason that the tickets are so specific.
Yeah. I have a problem in the fact that if I'm going to go to a place once, maybe twice, I want the annual pass. I feel like I can justify it. Theme park math, I call it. Like, I'll go in and go, like, okay, something like SeaWorld, Busch Gardens. Okay, if I pay for this pass, it includes parking. So look at the money I'm saving there. And then I can also save on 20% off on merchandise when I'm in the park, and I'm saving money there, and I'm getting a discount on food, and I get a companion pass. And it's like, all right, the thing is, basically, I'm making money at this point. It's harder to do that with, like, say, a Disneyland Magic Key, because they're so expensive, but still, yeah, I probably would have tried to convince myself that I needed an annual pass if they had one. Thank goodness they didn't. And again, tickets were cheap. Tickets were very affordable in comparison to what we pay when we're going. Now, again, like I said, most of my cost was flights, then hotel, and then and then the park tickets were negligible, I feel like, after that. Anything else that we need to talk about? So that gets you to Tokyo, to the hotel, a place to stay, gets you, to the parks, and then into the gates. That's anything I've missed on that process?
Mm, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe
Again,
just
there's a
happy
lot.
entry, but we kind of touched on that a little bit.
Yeah. So happy entry is an hour before the park opens.
15 minutes.
What?
Yeah, it's 15 minutes. It's only 15 minutes. You have to be smart with your 15 minutes, which means you have to, like, go somewhere and also be using the app to book passes, because when you get in, you can book the passes for the attraction. So that's really what you got to do in that 15 minutes. Get shots, get photos, get videos with nobody in it for a couple minutes, run somewhere else and book your passes. It's just it's like the time is ticking. You got to do it quick.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, and that's really, again, a lot of what you're paying for when you're paying to stay in a Disney hotel is you're paying for that access. I was looking for a picture that I took the morning that we did rope drop at Disneyland Park. And I feel like I was talking to Stephanie, and she was asking about, like, getting in. And she was like, oh, you can get in early. I was like, no, they're very specific about when you can get in. And like you said, you have happy entry, you get in 15 minutes earlier. This was us waiting for 9 o'clock in the morning to roll around outside of Tokyo Disneyland Park. This was us waiting to get in. Now, it was very organized. It wasn't crazy. But yeah, and there was a lot of good people watching with it was Halloween time, so people were wearing costumes. The costumes in the parks are amazing. and it was, so it was fine being there, but you could not get in early. It was, you get in, they open the gates at 9. Everybody goes in single file. You got to be ready. You got to have your stuff there. You got to have your ticket ready to go. Get on that. And then also security. Now, security, I felt like security was like, they were nice and they did security, but I don't feel like it was as thorough as whatever it is they do at Disney, because at Disney World specifically, it's just like, if I don't know, I feel like I have more of a hassle at Disney World and then Disneyland than I did here. Thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was at Disney Springs today and it was, I mean, I guess it's spring break crowds, but I was like, what the heck is up with this like security line to get through? It felt very inefficient because again, if so many people going through these detectors are being stepped a step aside and search the bag, it's like two lines. Tokyo, it moves pretty quick, but every time I go through the ones at Tokyo, I get pulled off to the side because I have a lot of battery packs and things in my bag. So, but they're real quick. They look through it. You go through and, super polite.
Yeah.
Efficiency.
No, for sure. Yeah. So again, as we were going in the first day, I took some shots. Here's again a picture out of our window, honestly, of the hotel, the Toy Story Hotel. Can you tell which one's Toy Story Hotel? I think you can. Yeah. And then we walked across the street to the station. Here's a picture of the from our room. Here's a picture of the Monorail station again, and you can see the Fantasy Springs. You can see the Peter Pan Neverland attraction rising above that, so you can see that it's right there against that. It's really neat to just like stand
That's
there
a
and
good view there.
look around. Then I looked
That's
off
a
to the
great
left
view there.
and saw this, which was them building the new Space
Yeah.
Mountain. So.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
there's the
Looking good.
Disneyland Hotel off to the left of that one. So, yeah. So, and again, this was our first morning heading out, and we headed into Tokyo DisneySea. But let's talk first about Tokyo Disneyland. But before we do that, let's talk about, you can go into Tokyo Disneyland. And if Maleko had been on this call with us, he would have told you he did not engage in any of the passes at all. Probably not even the free Tokyo Disney Resort 40th priority passes, which, by the way, you said the first time you went, you were like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what I'm doing necessarily. Did you know about like priority passes and reservations and all of those things?
Not the first time I went, and I'm not even sure what was different in 2019 versus 2023, just because they had annual passes back then. And so I think when I went in 2019, it was the lines for everything, and everybody was in costumes. The first time I went, it was Halloween, so it was cool to see the costumes, but it was also like everyone is everywhere taking pictures in their costumes. And I just think I was super overwhelmed by the amount of people there. And knowing, how to strategize the passes now, I don't have to wait in the, lines really. So I'm like, okay, as long as I don't have to do these 3-hour waits that everyone else seems to be fine with, because they line up at like 1 a.m. for the park. I've seen them out there in the morning at 4 a.m. They got their pillows. They're laying down out there in the park. They have, it's just like another level that waiting for things is not, it's not a big deal. It's like the longer the wait, the better the thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know what? I choose to book my passes. I would rather pay to ride Beauty and the Beast. I'm not doing these 180-minute waits. Have at it.
Well, the longest wait that we had that was listed while we were there was for Frozen while we were there, and we didn't. The problem with Frozen was that you, to get a pass, and let's talk about this, friends, as lightning lanes. With a lightning lane, the way they're set up right now, if you're staying at a hotel, you can book, I think it's a week in advance, your lightning lanes. And I feel like I've lost Annie, so hopefully she'll refresh. I don't think she's just got her eyes closed. But until that time, so with lightning lanes, when you go into, you did refresh, and we'll get you in a second. So with Lightning Lanes, you can book a week in advance if you're staying at a Disney hotel, and then after that, if you wanted to, if you're not staying at a Disney hotel, I think it's like 3 days maybe or the day before. If you're at Disneyland, you can't, and a lot of times you have to wait and book the morning that you're there. In this one, you cannot book until you get into the park. So we're getting you. You're a little jumpy, right? You're kind of there. There we go. Almost. Well,
Wow. Just hit refresh. I don't think I'm.
Yeah. There you go.
Wait. It might.
I think you.
Gonna be real still. I'm gonna be real still.
She's back. Right. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. So with this one though, you have to get into the park. You have to tap in. Oh, now she's all frozen again. Oh, this is gonna be fun, guys. So with this one, you have to tap into the park first before you do your priority pass. Benjamin says she's a little bit jerky, so we'll hold on. She's shaking her head. I see her shaking her head off camera.
I think it's reloading. I don't know. Let's see. Am I back? Maybe. It looks like it might be reloading at the top of the screens.
Okay. I don't know what. Yeah. You good?
I think so. I'm afraid to move. I'm afraid to make a funny face and get frozen.
I mean, I'm going to just start doing screen captions. I'll just like text them to you. It'll be great. So anyway, about these passes, Annie, the Disney Tokyo Resort 40th Anniversary Priority Pass are free. And you can use them as soon as you get in the park if you know what you're doing and if you have an app. And so once you go into the park and you're trying to do that, these are the ones that you can do. So right now, currently for Tokyo Disneyland, you can do Big Thunder, Pooh's Honey Hunt, Haunted Mansion, Star Tours, or Monsters, Inc., Ride and Go Seek. These are the ones available for Tokyo Disneyland. At Tokyo Sea, it's Turtle Talk, which I don't know why you would burn it on Turtle Talk. Nemo and Friends Sea Rider, Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Crystal Skull, Raging Spirits, which is an Indiana Jones roller coaster, and then you have the Magic Lamp Theater and also 20,000 Leagues. So, Annie, are there any of those in particular you were like, that's the one you use? Because I feel like for me, if I was doing it, I would do Pooh's Honey Hunt or Monsters, Inc. Ride and Go Seek.
Yeah, Monsters and Pooh. That's the way you got to go. And I usually, when I go in the app and I go for the pass, it shows you all of the attractions and the return time, and you can select it from there. So if there's Pooh at 9:05 and Monsters at 9:30, I'm going to take Pooh at 9:05 because at 9:05 I can book Monsters.
Yep. And then the other one at Tokyo Sea, I would say for this one, Indiana Jones would be the main one to do.
Yeah, Indiana Jones. But I do love 20,000 Leagues. I love that one.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is we're going to be doing 20,000 Leagues this week on A Look on the Plus Side. Ron and I are going to be talking about it. Our new rule about A Look on the Plus Side is it always has to tie into the park. So we're going to talk about this attraction, which is actually very different from the one, if you guys are old enough to remember the one that was at Magic Kingdom back in the day. This one is not. This is not your father's 20,000 Leagues. This is something different.
A good one.
So those are the ones you get for free. And again, you only get them for free until they're gone. So when you go in, you want to get them immediately. As soon as you can, you get those. Then the next level of them are what's called Disney Premier Access, and these are available, as they say, for a fee. The fee is kind of like a Lightning Lane single pass if you go to the Disney parks, and a Lightning Lane single pass is usually somewhere around $20 to ride Flight of Passage, Rise of the Resistance, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Tron, or I was trying to think, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Tron, Rise of the Resistance, Flight of Passage, and Guardians. So those are the ones on the East Coast that you can do. It's anywhere from I think it's $14 to $28. So I'm just saying roughly $20 to do that. These are a little bit cheaper. These are 2,000 yen if you wanted to get these, and 2,000 yen equals about $12.50. So
some of them are 1,500 yen too. Some of them that you got to look at. A couple of them have a lower price too.
Yeah. So Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey was always gone when we got in there. And so we did that once and we waited in line, and it was the longest wait we did. And I think we waited just under 2 hours, which was probably the best time we could have gotten because it was pretty consistently 3 hours the entire time. Rapunzel's Lantern Festival, I definitely bought that one. Definitely bought the Peter Pan Neverland. Bought the Soarin'. Didn't buy Toy Story. Did buy Tower. Didn't buy. I didn't have to buy Journey. I don't remember. Journey was on, I feel like, the 40th when I went the last time. Because we definitely did it. And then over at Disneyland Park, it's Enchanted Tales. This is Beauty and the Beast, which is awesome. Here's your $1,500 for Happy Ride with Baymax, $1,500 for Splash, which I also did that one. And then you can also do for parades and shows over there as well. Now, there are some shows that you can also just get a reservation for that I didn't realize that some of them you have to have a reservation for. It was free, but I didn't get it. And so then I went in to get in. They were like, "Oh, where's your pass?" And I'm like, "I don't have one." They're like, "Can't get in."
Yeah.
That only happened to me once. And after that happened, I was like, "Okay, I need to pay more attention here." But that happened once, and it was not even one I cared to go to. It was whatever that the airplane is, the Mickey and Friends show over at what?
DisneySea?
Yeah, DisneySea.
Was it at DisneySea?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it was. Where was it? It was maybe at Mediterranean Harbor, Port Discovery, maybe. I don't know. Whichever the show was, I was like, let's just go kill some time and see this show. And then when I got there, it was like, oh, you can't go see it. So we didn't go see it. So, but for the most part, you can do standby on all of this stuff. It's easier. It's easier on your day, especially with the free ones if you get them. But you have to get them first thing in the morning, or else you're gone. And then people do what's called stacking, where you get the free one and then you buy one, and then once this free one is over, then you get the next one, and then you go on from there. So you can really stack your day up if you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's pretty pro strat, right? That's how you roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at the parks themselves. This one is here's a map of Tokyo Disneyland. Before you went to Tokyo, did you do ride-throughs? Did you look at the maps? Did you study, or did you say to yourself, "Hey, this is a new Disney. I want to go in with fresh eyes"?
I did not learn anything about the park, so I actually missed a lot of cool stuff the first time. We didn't even go into the area where Sinbad is, and Sinbad is now our favorite ride at DisneySea. And the first time, we didn't even get over to that area. And we also wanted to ride. We could see Raging Spirits, the coaster, and so we wanted to go ride that. So we ran over last minute at the end of the day, trying to get on at the cutoff. And we got in line, we went through the line, got on the ride, and we were like, we were on Indiana Jones, and it was not Raging Spirits. It was the Indiana Jones. It's the car. And we had a great time, but we both got off like, well, where the heck is that ride? Because we can see it, and we thought we were in line for it. So yeah, we did not study, and we ended up getting on a different ride, and not finding rides. Yeah.
Well, and again, friends, I will tell you that I like going in with fresh eyes. There are a lot of times where we did that previous park show, and we do Park Adventurers Club, where I kind of ask myself, do I want to see this video if I haven't gone on it yet? Because I don't know if I want to know. I don't want to ruin that experience. You don't get new Disney experiences all the time. So in a lot of cases, I didn't want to know things. Now, the Pirates in Shanghai and Mystic Manor, I've seen videos of those because I don't see myself going to those. Now, maybe someday, and I know you have, but I was like, I'm going to go ahead and see that. The stuff in Tokyo, I've never did any ride-through videos. I waited until I went, but just before I went, I was like, I do need to do a little bit of homework here. So I did a couple things. One is I looked to see what rides were going to be down while we were there, because there's nothing worse than showing up at a park and then realizing that the one ride you've heard about your entire life will be down for your future enjoyment, because I don't know when my next time is going to be. Journey to the Center of the Earth at Tokyo DisneySea was down the day after we were there. So I was like, I need to ride this So that's why I planned that day. And it was like we were there on September 30th. October 1st, it went down. So, but I knew it because I had looked ahead. So definitely look at when you're planning your trip. If there's something that you've always wanted to do, if you've always wanted to do Pooh's Honey Hunt, look ahead to make sure that it's not going to be on the refurb schedule, or you will be upset. The second thing is, because I didn't do all the planning that I thought I was supposed to do, and I did a good amount, I didn't know about that show that you had to get a reservation. So it looked like to me, when I was looking down the course of my day and stacking my day, I was like, I don't need a reservation for that because I can just walk into that. But you can't. So some shows you can, some shows you can't. So just to make it completely uber complicated. But it was great to be able to get the priority passes. And then I am not a proponent of buying a Lightning Lane single pass. But then again, I'm going to be back, or I don't mind waiting. Japan, I don't know if the next time I'm going to go. So I was doing this the whole time. Like, yes, I want to get Beauty and the Beast. Yes, I want to get, Tangled, because we loved those attractions. Those were once in a lifetime experiences on those attractions. And so I was like, definitely want to do that. The very first night we went in, and I saw somebody in chat, it might've been Mike, had suggested that for Beauty and the Beast that you get to the end of the night and then get in line for Beauty and the Beast, because you can get on to it in a shorter amount of time because the park's closing down, or people are at fireworks or whatever. That's what we did. The first night we went into to Tokyo Disneyland, like I said, we went in to get food, but we first walked into World Bazaar, and that it's covered, and then you get there and you're like, wow, this is cooler than I thought it was. Would you agree?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's cool. And so many people that see the photos or videos, they hate on it. They're like, oh, like, no, I love it. It's so cool. It's really nice.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things where I was like, I don't know. I was a little bit blown away by it when we went in there, because I was just like, it wasn't really quite what I expected. So here's a picture of it at night. Again, that first night that we went in. And so their main street is World Bazaar, and as you walk down, it is covered, and so it's very climate controlled. There's no rain, there's no, and you can go into the shops, and it's very cool when you go in there. So that was the first thing that blew me away, and then of course, here's me standing goofily in front of the Cinderella Castle, which is basically like the one in Walt Disney World. But that moment felt like I had made it. What was the moment where you were like, I'm here, and this is unreal?
Yeah, the castle at night. I feel like there's just a nostalgia. I think like the first time we went, we did that half day ticket. So the first time going there was at night. And it's just like the twinkling lights as you're going in, and the music playing, like the classic Disney music playing. I feel like there's so much nostalgia factor when you walk in. But yeah, the castle lit at night, I think that's a moment. Your picture is pretty much the moment. I think everyone's moment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you get there and you're like, I'm here, and you get on the monorail, and then you get to the front of Tokyo Disneyland, and you're like, okay, here's the Mickey, and let me get my picture here. Here's the entrance that I've seen so many times. You walk in, and you have that moment in World Bazaar, and you get to the very end, and there's that castle. It's the castle from Florida, but it's in Japan, and it's pretty amazing. And that their hub is so enormous. That's the other thing too, is there's not a lot of space in Japan, but I have never seen anything more expansive than specifically Tokyo DisneySea. Like, it's insane. It's insane how large that park is.
I try to warn people, and they don't believe me.
Okay, so we went into Tokyo Disneyland, and we had that experience, and we ate, and then we went to do the Beauty and the Beast attraction, which is over here between Tomorrowland and Toontown. There were some construction walls up because of the Space Mountain that was happening, so it was a little bit harder to get to Beauty and the Beast sometimes, because they would close off this one wall on your way there. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite attraction from all of Tokyo Disney. I don't know, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, that's the best one at Tokyo Disneyland. That and the Frozen one at DisneySea. Those are the top two. You you can't miss those attractions. So
Yeah.
luckily you can pay to skip the line, because I think those are the two that are, I mean, they're just untouched by other rides.
Yeah. I mean, again, the transformation scene in here is great. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who is like, I don't want to see anything, but it's a trackless ride system. The outside is amazing. The queue is amazing. It's like they have an extra castle, which is unreal. The Beast Castle compared to like the Cinderella Castle, it's like, how is there a second castle of that magnitude there? Obviously, we have that at Disney World on top of the Be Our Guest restaurant, and it's literally like about this tall in the distance. But this one is like the real deal castle, and you walk up to it. I was blown away by just this entranceway, and like they have a poor provincial town connected to it. It's a quiet village, and every day is like the one before, but it's right there, and they have a Gaston's restaurant, and they have gift shops and things like that. And it's really cool. It's a very cool thing, and it's not all that old. It was part of an expansion where they added that, and they added the Happy Ride with Baymax, which is like Aliens, Swirling Saucers, and Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, but good.
Yeah, better at night. The lights are awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
here's the Happy Ride with Baymax. That's just that was just a really cool attraction. We didn't
You
ride
got to
it, but
do
it was
the
just oh yeah. There's little dances.
BAYMAX.
Yeah. There was little
That is the
dances. It
whole
was
thing.
great.
Yeah.
So in general for attractions, they have Splash Mountain there, which is cool because we got to ride Splash Mountain, but the queue, you go down into a mountain almost, and it's so dark in there. It was almost overwhelming. Like my wife almost tripped 3 or 4 times going through that queue because it's so dark. And
And
then
it winds back and forth like down.
yeah,
It's a wild one. You think
yeah.
you see that line outside, and you're like, oh, it must be not. There must be a shorter queue indoors, and then you get inside, and you're like, even if you buy the pass, walk in, it's like, oh my god, it's forever.
Yep. There was a lot of entertainment here. There's parades. There were because it was Halloween. They had like nighttime and daytime parades. They did the Halloween parade and their regular parade during the day. They have again a lot of attractions. Like the teacups, and it's a Small World. There is so much better. We didn't get to see the Small World with Groot, which is there now. I know. But it was, my wife loves It's a Small World, and the queue there is so amazing that it was completely worth it. She loved going to It's a Small World there. I loved the Beauty and the Beast attraction there. It was cool to go do Splash Mountain again, see Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear again. I hang out with them over there, and then I don't know if there's anything else that really necessarily stood out to me. We did do Pirates there. The Haunted Mansion was Haunted Mansion Holiday, so we got to do that because it was Halloween going into Christmas, and they have the other overlay. It was supposed to go to Disney World, but it went there instead. So yeah, that was cool to do too. So anything else about the park attractions or entertainment wise before we move on to Tokyo DisneySea?
The parades are the best there, and people love lining up for the parades. That so many people will rope drop those parades, but you don't have to. But you got to see them.
You know what's so funny to me about that is that people, like, you can reserve a spot on the ground for
Yeah,
those
I've done
parades,
it.
but that people were just like sitting on the ground even when it was raining, just waiting for the parades, and they would like put their shoes off to the side and just sit there with like a snack or something, and it was crazy to see that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of times they know the sections that the certain characters stop, so they sit where their favorite characters are. So like during the Christmas parade, it was funny because we were walking and there was a whole section. All the people had Zootopia hats, stuffed animals, everything. Then the next section, all the people had Stitch. And so you could tell where the parade, when the parade stops in the hub area, where each float was going to be based on people sitting there. So the parade, people are very dedicated to the parade. And again, you got to remember there's no annual pass. It's one thing if you have an annual pass and you say, okay, I'm going to sit and camp on the curb for my favorite character. But people are buying a whole day ticket and spending the whole day on the curb for the parades. And that's just, maybe if you've done the rides all the time, the rides don't change. So maybe the parade thing is just, it's always different. But there's something about why the parades just are like so important to people in Tokyo. I don't know.
Yeah. Jake said Stitch. So here again is the picture of people sitting in the rain on their mats, parked waiting for the parade across the parade route, which is that's dedication. That's, like you said, they love it. The other thing that I noticed a lot was that they are really into umbrellas as opposed to ponchos.
Oh, yeah.
So many umbrellas.
Yeah, they also umbrellas in the sun too, and that's the sun protection too. You'll go in the summer, no rain, it'll just be a sea of umbrellas everywhere in the park.
Well, here's the end of the parade, and you can see all the umbrellas.
Yeah, see.
But also they have the sponsor at the end of the parade, which I think is fascinating. But yeah, it's just a sea of umbrellas that are there. But and if you catch it in this picture, you can see on the kind of the center left, you can see the Beauty and the Beast castle, and if you look on the right of the sign, there's the scaffolding for the new Space Mountain. So just something that we caught in that picture there. But yeah, it's an amazing park. It feels very similar to, it's like when you go from Disney World to Disneyland and you go to like Magic Kingdom to Disneyland. It's like it's familiar and there are a lot of things that are the same, but it's also very different. Now, not only was Journey in the Center of the Earth closing when we were there for refurb, but Crystal Skull at Tokyo DisneySea was closed, so we couldn't do that. And then over in this park, the Tiki Room with Stitch was closed, and we didn't get to see that one. I know, I'm bummed.
I love that.
Yeah, so we didn't get to see that one. And I feel like there were a couple other things that were down, but again, we didn't see the traditional Haunted Mansion because we got to see the other one. But we also got to do the Monsters attraction, which is so much better than the one in Disneyland. It's when you go through this one, it's very similar in the fact that the animatronics are they're just very stiff and still. But this one you go in with flashlights and it's like a game. And so you shine your flashlight on the different things, and they pop up or move around or whatever. And Roz is at the end, and
I gotta say, I did the Tokyo version first, and then when I went to Disneyland, I got on theirs, and I was like, "What is this? Why is this not flashlight tag?" It's a little bit like Men in Black at Universal, just because I'm the queen of Universal. I got to make a Universal reference there.
Thank you. You do.
So yeah, but there are so many rides at Tokyo Disney or Disneyland that are similar to ones at the other parks, like you said, Disneyland, Magic Kingdom. But then there are the ones that it's Monsters Inc. But no, it's not the Monsters Inc. you think from California and Pooh. Every Pooh in the world is the same except for the one in Tokyo. So it's like, again, it's different. Those are the ones you got to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, so that's basically Tokyo Disneyland for attractions and such. And I think the standout for me is Beauty and the Beast. Also, the Monsters Inc. one was pretty cool, and the Pooh's Honey Hunt. It's like you know that it exists, but until you actually do it, you're just like, it's kind of crazy. So I really enjoyed that one. Did it bother you that the attractions are mostly in Japanese? Because it didn't really bother me.
I really didn't even notice. I find it funny that I must not pay attention, or I must just know the story enough to be able to figure it out, I think. But I always post videos of the attractions like on my Instagram stories, and people will say, it's in Japanese. I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice. It just didn't, I guess it didn't register.
Well, and I think a lot of people probably, unless there's like a specific pre-show, I think the only place that this messed me up a little bit was like some of the shows a little, but not badly. So anyway, Again, we went to Tokyo DisneySea on our really first full day, and it's just bizarre how large that place is, how amazingly cool it is. You know, it's like levels upon levels when you're going in there. So here's me walking in to the first day, because first thing you see is you see the globe outside, and then it's like, okay, here's me, I'm taking this picture. And so that's the first thing, and then you walk through this archway, which is kind of like walking into like underneath Main Street Station when you're walking into Disney World for the first time. And then as soon as you get through there, there's this view, which is just insane. It's just breathtaking, honestly. You're like, what's going on? I mean, it's just beautiful what they've got going on there with that. And so there's, and the mountain has, you go inside, and there's the 20,000 Leagues and the Journey in the Center of the Earth attractions are in there, and a restaurant. And then you go to the other side of it, and it looks different from the other side when you go over there. They've got these gondolas that come through here. They do like these flotilla, like a Duffy and Friends show that come through. That the fortress, we spent, I don't know, an hour over there in that fortress, which is like, it's like what Tom Sawyer Island should be. You can just explore for forever. So what did you think the very first time you went to Tokyo DisneySea?
Oh, it's funny. I feel like I always run past the Aquasphere outside. So it's funny that you say that you take a picture in front of that. I don't think I've ever taken a picture in front of that. I think I'm always like, gotta go, gotta get in the park. Like, but yeah, when you come out and you start seeing the volcano, Mount Prometheus, and you start seeing that's the big reveal there. And it's just so breathtaking. And there's so much more to the park that is hidden behind, this magnificent view. So it's so weird that you, like you said, go through and all of a sudden you're in a different area and it looks totally different. I love it.
Yep. So here's a map of the park, and you start down here at the bottom, and you walk in, and there's the sphere, and then you walk through the shops, and then you enter into this main Mediterranean harbor underneath of Miracosta. So like you're walking underneath the hotel there at the beginning. You get there, over to the left is the American waterfront, over to the right is the Arabian coast. The problem that I have here is that you can't really go over to the left directly. Like, that's the part, like getting to Fantasy Springs and the Lost River Delta and all that stuff, you really have to kind of like make your way through the park. This is the place where I miss that sort of hub and spoke situation where you can, jump over here and jump over there. And especially at the time, my wife's knee was in like not the best shape. And so it was like, I had to kind of think to myself, like about travel time back and forth, especially as I'm doing, our, premier passes and things of like, let's do as much as we can in Fantasy Springs while we're all the way in the back there. Now, if you're staying at the Fantasy Springs Hotel, not a problem, but they're very strict about not letting you out that way because like that's a hotel perk. You do not get through that way. And that's the thing. Let's talk about cast members in general are so nice, but at the same time, they don't mess around. Like,
yeah, the rules are the rules.
Yeah, like so again,
at 3:00. We had a pass that was at 2. It was at 2:59. We walked up. The pass was 3:00, and she's like, "It's not 3:00." Like, okay. And then we just like took a step back, waited the 30 seconds, and clicked over to 3. Walked up. It's like, yes, okay.
But they're so on it though when they go through, because they will like they have like pictures that'll hold up about like seatbelts and like or it says don't take pictures or whatever, but they'll have it on a pad, so they show it to you. So before you get there, okay, I can't take pictures. I have to take my backpack off. I can't, I have to do my seatbelt. and so you're ready to go, and they're working with you on the language barrier. So the language barrier was never really a problem for me in general, because they speak enough English that they're going to get you through, but they don't mess around. Like if you're slow, they're going to push you, and if you're going the wrong direction, they're going to push you back in the right direction. I found that during parades. It's like, nope, go this way. Nope, go this. But I want to go. Nope, go this way. Go this way. Like, like they're not messing around, and the level of efficiency is beyond anything else. So they're nice to a point, and then it's like you said, it's the rules. The rules are the rules. Have a nice day.
Yeah, yeah, right. It says no.
Yeah.
No is
Like,
no.
right. But this park is unlike anything else that I've ever seen, and I think we know that when you go into it, that it is just unique in so many ways and very special. So again, you walk into this area and you can see all of those dots are restaurants and shops and experiences, and like you go over to like that whole part with the fort that you go over and see with the ship, and it's got all of these like sea references in it. You could easily miss that and never see that or experience that if
Yeah.
you didn't know what you were doing.
It took us years to find out that there was a Teddy Roosevelt lounge on the boat.
Really?
And
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Like, how did we miss this?
But everything here, the scale, as big as Tokyo Disneyland is, the scale when you get to Tokyo DisneySea is beyond anything I've ever seen in my life. And they're such smart. They're so smart with the way they use space. The one thing that threw me was the Mermaid Lagoon, because I didn't know what I was getting into. There's an entire indoor amusement park, basically, that you could have just walked by and missed completely. If you looked over at Mermaid Lagoon and you're like, oh, there's some cute rides over there, I don't need to go there, you would have missed out on the experience of going down into inside the building that has, it's like multi levels, and you go, I've never seen anything like that before, and we didn't know what we were getting into, and we got in there and we said we could have easily missed this.
Yeah, I found that I was looking for the bathroom. I wandered in looking for the bathroom. I found there's a whole world under there. I came out. I was like, everybody, we got to go down there. So we almost missed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it
And I
was.
searched. There's a Prince Eric statue hidden in the playground, and I spent forever searching for it. I had to finally ask a cast member, but it's this massive area that you, like you said, would miss if you walk by. There's a couple rides you can see outside. You see the castle, Ariel's castle, and if you don't really pay attention, you would miss that's a whole entrance. Like you said, a restaurant, a shop, all the playground, all the attractions down there. It's awesome.
Yeah, I was blown away by again just the scope of that entire thing, and I'm just like looking around going, how would we have known that this was here? It was just amazing, and we just were like, our mouths were open and we couldn't believe what we were seeing. And the way that it happens, we went in and we were like, oh, I wonder what this is. We walked in and we saw it, and we looked down. I was like, what are those people doing down there? Um, and then we went even further in there. So we went in and we were looking at this is a just like a statue of King Triton, like that's just inside the place. And we're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then we looked down and saw multiple levels all the way down, which is, I think that's where that Prince Eric statue is that you were talking about. And then we're like, wait a minute, what is this? And this is Triton's Kingdom. And here's the indoor like experience. There's multiple attractions. There's like a sort of a teacup ride, sort of like a Flix Flyers ride, sort of. I think there are 3 different rides inside of there, and a show, and a restaurant, and restrooms, and shops, all inside of there.
And a gotcha machine. Gotcha.
Oh yeah, gotcha
There's one of
machine.
those down there too.
That's the one that has Shandu, and I spent a lot of money to get a Shandu. So, for this one, for attractions, Fantasy Springs is the best, I feel like. I used to say that Cars Land was my favorite land ever. This one, I think that Fantasy Springs, there is no better land than Fantasy Springs. Changed my mind.
No, I think Fantasy Springs is amazing. You've got the pirate ship. You've got the way they have Arendelle set up. I mean, you got Rapunzel's tower. What's not to
Yeah.
love?
And then every bit of it is beautiful with the rock work and the water and like, like it's just looking in here and seeing all the different things that are in there. Honestly, it was just amazing. I know that when Fantasy Springs first opened up, which wasn't that long, it was 2024, I think, that you couldn't like get in at first, and now you can get in, but all of the attractions are super long. But the one that's the worst to me was Frozen, and Frozen is it's like half of the one we have at Epcot, but then so much better.
It's so much better. And this is one
But
of those things where but Epcot, Hong Kong, and Paris, those three Frozens are basically the same, and Tokyo is completely different.
yeah.
It's a book report ride. And
Well,
that's what they call it. It's a book report ride. It tells you the story.
well, I mean, you've got Arendelle, like they've rebuilt Arendelle, and my daughter when she was little was a huge Frozen fan, so she is here in front of the
Oh,
castle, and so that was kind of cool. And then there's like so you've got Rapunzel area, and you've got the Arendelle area, and then you've got the Peter Pan area, which is like the Tinkerbell and Peter Pan, but they're two different attractions, and they're kind of two different areas, but they're also kind of the same because it's all Peter Pan IP. That Peter Pan ride is so much better than I thought it would be too. It's like, why do we have the one over at Tokyo Disneyland? Get rid of that, because this one is basically the same thing, only in a world of its own. It's like the Spider-Man ride at Universal had a baby with Peter Pan. I mean, and
yep.
it's
That's
just so
same.
good. So I mean,
Yeah, it's great. And the colors and the colors in that ride are just magical. I don't know, something about it.
yeah. Uh, so I think that the problem is in this park there are too many to name a favorite. I feel like I loved the Rapunzel's boat ride. That was my daughter's favorite. The Lantern Festival. The Tinkerbell one was cute. It was all right. It felt a little bit like Heimlich's Choo Choo Train because it's outdoors that they used to have at Disneyland. The Peter Pan one was great. That was my wife's favorite. My favorite was the Beauty and the Beast one, and then the Frozen one was great. But most people say the Frozen one is their favorite. Is that your favorite?
Yeah, Frozen's my favorite.
The sleeper hit of this park is the Sinbad attraction. And you said you didn't
Oh
see this
yeah,
the very first time, but there's Shandu.
exactly.
There's my boy.
Oh,
He's so cute. He was so adorable. I wish they had more merch. They don't have any merch really for Shandu anymore, but except for like the gotchas. So yeah, it was pretty neat. So we rode that one like 3 or 4 times, and like Compass of Your Heart, which was written by Alan Menken. We don't speak Japanese, but we would do the Compass of Your Heart. Like that's all we knew. So yeah, it was really a cool attraction. It's like it's a small world, but a million times better.
oh, so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Fantasy Springs. Oh, come on now, that's not fair. Let's talk about the food real quick. Okay, because I know we're going long here,
Yeah.
but I did want to kind of touch on everything. So let's talk about the food real quick. Thank you guys for still being here. If there's anything else that we're missing, please hit us up in the chat. I will try to pay attention to the chat, but I'm so focused on trying to get through all this. Oh, you got the wait, what
Don't
what
they
is that?
look like their alien mochi? Oh, sorry. Where I have getting myself in the screen here. But they're actually little notepads. But they look like the little alien mochis that you can get. I'm sure you ate these. You were talking about food, so I'm sure you ate the alien mochis, right, Rob?
Hundred
You know
percent.
what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay, and then I love that because we love merchandise, and we're gonna tie it in just because we're short on time here. I'm sure. The rings on the top are the chocolate, custard, and strawberry. So there's like a pink one, and a little gold one, and the little like caramely colored one there.
Yeah, I
So they're
ordered
supposed to
it.
be the flavors.
I ordered it mostly because I wanted the to get the piece of plastic. So I have
Oh yeah, and
this
it's got a
thing.
squishy lid, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's squishy right there. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I honestly, I loved being able to get those because I had seen them before. But the original ones that they had, it's funny the green screen is cutting it out. The original one that they had was like a little claw machine one with that had the mochi in it. But Yeah.
I know. I got that one
Um,
for a friend, and then I never was able to get it for myself because now they have that one.
yeah. So anyway, let's talk about first. Let's talk about the food. And Mike from Mike's Adventures was like, "Oh my God, you will not believe the food in Japan. It is amazing." And when we went to Disneyland, the first thing I thought after a little while was, my wife is a little picky. My daughter is a vegetarian/vegan. My son will eat basically anything, even on a dare. And then I like Americanized food for the most part, but I'll go off book a little bit. The food was a little bit not for me. I feel like a lot of it, we were really in a challenge trying to find a place that everyone would like, and the Snuggly Duckling was one that I thought was pretty good. Um, you
That's
didn't
the
like
only
it.
restaurant I never recommend. Oh, well, I mean, I guess if you
Yeah.
you got
Well,
different
but
tastes than me.
this one was pretty much for the atmosphere, I think, more than anything, the Snuggly Duckling. Um,
Did
but
you
yeah,
Alice in Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts?
I did. All right, so here's the thing. All right, so that one was the winner for our trip, I think, of all of them. Was that the Queen of Hearts restaurant, because the theming is amazing. It's kind of set up sort of like a cafeteria, but not really, where you go in and you order the thing you want to get. And they, again, very efficient, and they move you through very quickly. That one was probably our favorite because it felt like there was something truly for everybody at that one. The very first night we went into the to get our dinner at Disneyland, we did this one, which is Plasma Rays, which is kind of
Oh,
like Cosmic Rays, but not really, because there's another restaurant attached to it that is more like Cosmic Rays. But Plasma Rays kind of felt like a Cosmic Rays in general. And we ate there, and the food that we got. And again, if you're looking for like standard fare, this was a little bit different. Those were some chicken, some cheese corners, and some weird tortilla chips that we
tortilla
got there.
chips.
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't. It's not your standard fare, honestly. The French fries were good. The French fries were French fries. Um,
Well, there's the
those
mochi right there.
Yeah, those are the mochi.
There's the
So
mochi.
I did like the drinks. The drinks were good. But anyway, that was what we did that first night, is we got that, and they didn't love it, but it was fine. The next morning we hit the convenience store inside of our hotel, and got some just like pastries and stuff. And then when we went into Disney Sea, I forget, we tried this some like churros, like, and I love that when you go to the stands where you get like drinks, they have water and they have green tea bottles. Like, that was great. I like green tea. That's fine.
Demi glazed churro.
Yeah. What I
Was it
also like
potato?
about Tokyo is that they do this. They have these cases that show you what the food's going to look like. So if you can't just figure it out from the menu, you can look at it. And we do this all the time. If you're at a place you've never eaten at, and you want to look on someone else's table and see like what their food looks like, they keep it out here so that you can see it. This was the restaurant over. It's called Volcania, I think, is the name of that restaurant.
Volcania, yeah.
So we did end up eating there one day, and that one was a good
Oh,
meal. But I really
the
did
spring
some deep
rolls there are good.
I did
I
some
got
deep
some really
dive
good spring rolls.
research on like what food was there. But our first meal was at Snuggly Duckling, and they got the cup of salad and the French fries, and we got the drinks, and then the sandwiches. And the sandwiches were, they were okay. They weren't great. But I also, if you can look at this picture, you can see on the side there, I did get the premiums everywhere I went, the little bags and the plates,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, I've got a lot of that stuff. So, and then the dessert was really good here. We got this thing.
Oh yeah. The frying pan.
Yeah, and of course, you keep the frying pan,
Oh my
right?
God. Did you get the plate with it though?
I did.
The
Yeah, I do
ceramic
have.
plates? Oh
Yeah,
yeah. The
if
Rapunzel
you
plate, that's so cool.
if you look back at the picture, you can see the plate. I know I saw it on your
Ah,
Instagram, so yeah, I got the plate too. So that's really kind of like the food and the merch in one conversation. But I do think that for us, the big win was the Queen of Hearts. Is there a better one that you would recommend? Um, Oh, here's also the one inside of the King Tritons. Those are pizzas, but they're not your everyday pizza. That one's sausage and meat, and the other one's the chef special, which was spicy cod roe and potato
Yep.
pizza.
Yep. My mom's
Yeah.
like, "Do you know what cod roe is?" I'm like, I don't want to know."
Yeah, if you like going to the park for just like burgers and whatnot, there it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for you, I think.
I like Zambini Brothers. They've got a lot of pasta and pizza, and they've got like a long pizza, which is like almost like a breadstick that's got like sauce and cheese
Where's
in
that?
it. That's towards the front of DisneySea. It's
Mhm.
like right if you go down the stairs from Soarin', like if you're going towards the entrance of the park, and it's on your left.
We also ate at the Casbah food court
Oh,
when we
I've
were
always
there.
wanted to eat there. I've always wanted
And
to eat there.
this was the Halloween meal. So that is like a non bread, but it's red because it was Halloween. And this is pretty much a, I'm going to forget the name of it. What is the thing, the traditional Indian dish? I forget what it was. Wait a minute.
It's
Curry.
not
It was
curry.
curry.
A
It
curry.
was
Oh,
curry.
okay.
It was like a blackened curry that was there. So we ate at Snuggly Duckling and at Casbah that day, and then the next day, my wife's like, "I'm not loving the food really," and so we found the Queen of Hearts at Tokyo Disneyland Park, and it was everything we hoped it would be. So here's the plate. There's bread, and then there's like a beef patty and a salad with bacon on it, and like the desserts. We each got our own dessert, and you can see that one dessert's in like a collectible cup because again, I had to do that. One thing I do love about the restaurants is they all had their own like signature tray. Um, and I've shown this before, but when we got to this restaurant, they asked if we wanted a mini version of the tray, and I was
Yeah.
like, yes, please. And then I had hoped to get these from every restaurant we went to, but this is the only one that offered it. Is that
Yeah, I know.
normal?
I love that tray. Well, I think because the other ones aren't really like cafeteria style, so maybe that's like significant to like the restaurant being a buffeteria.
But the vibe inside though is immaculate. It is perfect. You can see the queen and the
Hmm.
king in the back there over top of the entrance when you walk in, and it was just really well done. The food was great. The atmosphere was great. We each got our own like dessert, and then of course the plate I kept because that was part of the deal. So yeah, we enjoyed the Queen of Hearts. That was probably the winner of all the restaurants for us. Was the Queen of Hearts. Volcania was a close second, because it was more of an Asian blend, like rice and um, egg rolls and or spring rolls and things like that you mentioned. Any other food mentions before we get to the merch?
Popcorn. You got to talk about popcorn. You
So the
can't. You
popcorn.
cannot leave popcorn.
So the popcorn is so phenomenal over there, and I think our friend Jungle Cruiser, he and I talked a lot about the popcorn when I was over there, and the popcorn bucket. I brought him back the Toy Story bucket. But they sell the tongs, they sell specific buckets. The buckets are amazing, but they also have the flavor. Oh, you got the tongs. Look at you rocking the tongs over there. Yeah. Uh, Hold on a second. Let's see. Yeah, so cute. Yeah. So, so you don't get your fingers messy.
Yeah.
Um, so they have on their website the different popcorn flavors that you can get and which carts they're in, which is awesome. And then they have the popcorn buckets and which ones they're in. So you can time what popcorn bucket you want with which one. I got this popcorn bucket, which was the Monsters Inc. popcorn bucket.
Oh yeah.
Love that one. But part of the problem was getting them where they had the popcorn you wanted. My wife loved the caramel corn that they had over at Tokyo DisneySea, but then in the Tokyo Disneyland, they had something that was like sea salt caramel corn or salted caramel corn. She
Okay.
didn't like that as
Yeah,
much.
salted.
Yeah.
Oh.
But so there's a restaurant, not a restaurant, but there's a shop there called Big Pop. And I told people afterwards, you just call me Big Pop from now on because, I got like the whole dad jokes thing going, plus also love me some popcorn buckets. But at Big Pop, they have like pretty much the entire slate of popcorn buckets that are available, minus the Duffy stuff. They don't do the Duffy stuff there. So they have the popcorn buckets on display, and you go into Big Pop, and this is at Tokyo Disneyland. And here's like the spread that was there. This is from the back of the case when we were there. They had that Pooh's Honey Pot. I wanted that. They had those lanterns from Beauty and the Beast and from the Tinkerbell. I wanted those. Didn't get those, but I did get the and I wanted that Halloween one. I wanted so many of those popcorn buckets, and I ended up just basically I got that one, and I got the basket, which is the Chip 'n Dale basket that you can see on that top shelf. But I got a different one like each day, and it was amazing to go in and do that and get the popcorn, and you could ask for it separate. Like, again, the language barrier is a little bit, but they're like, okay to put it in. I'm like, no. And then they do it separate, and they give you 2 popcorn bucket or popcorn things on the side so that you could have that. But what is your favorite flavor of popcorn?
Curry and soy sauce and butter.
Yeah.
It's a toss up, yeah. Did you know that if you go to one of the carts and get a popcorn bucket and you don't want that flavor, they can give you a voucher to go to another cart and just get popcorn?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So if you did want something, the Big Pop has got the biggest selection, so that's really the way to go. But if you were at DisneySea and you wanted one of the Duffy buckets and you didn't want the flavor, they'll give you a voucher and you get 2 boxes if you go somewhere else. But
Alicia's
I got
in
a
chat.
curry and soy sauce and butter.
Alicia's in chat and said, all of them. Fire Chief said, my daughter brought back the Pooh Honey Pot bucket for my wife. Oh, that's awesome. Ronald said the flavors sound wild. Jungle Cruiser said, I did the math, and I'm and for the 10 that I'm missing are $189 total. He is ready. He is going, and he's going to get him some popcorn buckets, and I'm loving that for you, Jungle Cruiser. That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun little twist to it all. And the funny thing is, like, here, a lot of times I feel like I get ragged on for popcorn buckets. There, it is just a thing. And they are so much better, too. The popcorn buckets, the quality of them is better. The pricing is better. The selection of popcorn. I didn't get the roast beef flavor because I didn't want the bucket that was there. But I guess like it's the opposite problem. Could I have gotten a voucher to get a different popcorn bucket from somewhere else?
Well, if you had a popcorn bucket, you could have just paid for the refill.
But then they'd put it in it, wouldn't they?
No, they'll just give you my mom actually, she takes Ziploc bags and she'll give it to them and they'll just put it in the Ziploc bag for us.
That's crazy.
Just because we want to eat it the whole trip, and we don't, we're like, I'll just do one day of getting popcorn on the way out, bag it all up, eat it for the rest of the trip.
That was a big part of what I wanted when I went to, I'm not going to lie, like going to Tokyo was a great thing. Going to Tokyo Disneyland was secretly the only reason I wanted to go. And the main reason was to get me at them popcorn buckets. Cause I did have a friend get me the Small World one for my wife once a long time ago. It's been there for a while. But there were some that I would see other people with because they bring them, I mean, they wear them as purses. They bring them back into the park. I would see people with, and I go, I wish they still made that one. One of them is there's a teacup stack from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, with Alice. Yeah.
One of them is a Toy Story. It has Woody on the top, but it has like movie reels.
The films. Yeah. I know the ones you're talking about because people
exactly.
are actually using them there. They're not putting them on their shelves. So it's like, oh, where'd you get that? You're actually using that as a popcorn bucket? What? That's so wild. And you bring them back to the park. Who does that? But I've seen some. I know. I saw one that was like a 30th anniversary. I'm like, we're almost at 45 here. You've been carrying this popcorn bucket for 15 years.
Mike's Adventure says, I'm surprised Rob came home. And Ronald says, is it a gallon Ziploc bag?
Yeah.
Okay. You crazy American wanting to fill up your popcorn bag. Just because it's, I was flipping through pictures to try to find some of that stuff. Here's that Duffy monorail, by the way. And the fact, like, this is over the top. This is just over the freaking top. This was for the anniversary of Duffy and Friends. And yeah, that's just amazing.
And the seats were each section of seats were a different fur from one of the characters. So there was the gray one for Gelatoni and a yellow one for Cookie Ann. And I was like, I want to sit on the Lena Bell one. I want to sit on the Gelatoni one. Like, I just want to. I don't know. It was amazing.
No, it's very cool. Okay, so restaurants. I mean, that pretty much covers most of it. Like I said, we did go to Volcania. Here's that tray, uh,
Mm.
and then here's some of the food that we got there. Again, like I said, it was more of an Asian flair to it. There were bao buns in there. Um, so yeah, that was a good meal too. That was a good meal too. And then let's the other thing I wanted to talk about with rides and I didn't talk about was the 20,000 Leagues is completely different. It's dry. It's like you get into a car and you're not really going under the sea, but it feels like you are. And
Yeah.
it's not that claustrophobic like we still have when we do the Nemo attraction, the Nemo subs at Disneyland, where you get in there and you get on the little seat and you peer through this window. It's like 8 people in a car, each looking out their own window, and it's a different experience. And it was pretty darn cool. Like,
Still a little claustrophobic. I'll say my mom won't get in there. She's done it once. She won't go in again. I do it all the time by myself.
oh, by the way, you were talking about the spring rolls at Volcania.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I don't know. It was a very cool attraction. I enjoyed it. The other attraction that we didn't talk about that I'm looking at now is this one.
Aquatopia. I knew you were going to go there. I love Aquatopia.
It
They do a summer
is
version where you get wet, and then,
yeah.
but most of the year you don't.
No, we did that the very first time.
Oh,
And we were soaked. And they were explaining it to us like you're gonna get wet, and we're like, oh, of course we are. It's a water ride. And then when the next time we rode it, we were completely dry. We're like, wait a minute. We thought maybe it was like a left track and a right track, like that, like kind of like HHN, the wet path and the dry path. But it wasn't. I guess they just sometimes they turn it on. But yeah, it is a surprisingly fun attraction. I expected it to be kind of like at the Cars Land. They have the Luigi's cousins, the dancing cars. I thought it
oh,
was going to be
yeah.
something along that way, but it's so much better. And we rode that one twice because it was so good. But we expected to
Yeah,
get
I love
soaked
that.
the second time because we got soaked the first time and we didn't.
Oh yeah, just it must have been the timing you were there because it in the summer that becomes like a get wet version, and then there's also Splash Mountain adds more jets that blast you, like you do get wet, not just like oh you might get a little splash, but they actually like blast water at you when you go down the drop. So because
Yeah.
it's so hot, it's everybody wants to cool down. Like I don't want to get wet though. I'll pass on that one.
So popcorn buckets being the kind of the merge between the food conversation and the merch conversation is that it was 20 years of Duffy and Friends when we were there, and I think this is like a multi-year celebration that they have. But you can see they have an area that has Duffy and Friends when you go over. There's a Duffy and Friends dinner show that we didn't do, but there's a Duffy and Friends flotilla show that happens that is amazing. And to your point about the parades, when people sit in the Stitch section, etc., when they do the flotilla and the Duffy thing comes along, people are dressed in that Duffy gear, holding up that Duffy animal, and just go nuts over that. It is insane the love that they have for these characters. So here's our band.
Obsession. It's
Yeah.
not love. It's not love. You have to protect Duffy and Friends over there. That's the only park you really have to you really can't get near them. They're on that boat for a reason. It's because if they put them near people, I will tell you, I've done happy entry at Disney Sea, and they have Mickey and Friends all out there. They'll hug you, they're high five you, they're just all that. But whenever they bring out like two of the Duffy friends, and you don't know which ones they're going to bring out, they have them socially distanced. And that's only for the happy entry, and just before happy entry ends, they take them inside. They leave Mickey and Friends outside because my friend, he watched my videos and he's like, why are they socially distanced? And it's just like the Duffy and Friends characters are the ones they have to keep people at bay, so there's like a barricade set up. And then later in the day I saw Gelatoni and Stella Lou on a balcony, and then there's just like 100 people at the bottom of the balcony with their stuffed animals, like, I love you. I'm like,
Yeah.
they can't get near the people because they would be mobbed. So it's like they're the real celebrities there. Everyone's just like, "Hey, Mickey, high five, Mickey, cool." Gelatoni, Selena Bell, they need to be protected because
Yeah.
they are the most popular there.
Yeah, here's the flotilla with all of them on there and waving, and it was, you're right. I mean, people were going crazy over it, and just losing their minds and holding up their favorites and wearing the ears and knowing which side that they were going to come around on, and ready to get their pick. There's Duffy ears and the Olumel ears, and yeah, it is insane. The love that they have for these characters is really, really crazy. And people are taking pictures and they're waving at them, and they're just, this is a magical moment for them, doing that. And I don't think we fully understand it over here, how crazy they get over that stuff. And so that little shop that we went in, it was over at I guess is that. I guess that's
The
American
American
Waterfront.
waterfront.
Yeah, it's American
Yeah.
Waterfront. That little shop that we went at looks like a little village in Maine. It looks like there's like, why is the Duffy stuff here? When we went in there was just wall to wall Duffy stuff. So I got like one of these. Had to get one.
Isn't he from
I'm a
Cape
Duffy.
Cod? He's from
Yeah,
Cape Cod. That's why. Yeah, right.
yeah.
No.
I think I'm a Duffy stan because I only got Duffy stuff. Like, I know a lot of people love them some gelatoni. My daughter is all Olumel. My son, I think, is Cookie Ann because he loves to cook, and Cookie Ann loves to cook. Oh, you're a Lena Bell?
Lena Bell. I'm Lena Bell all the way.
Yeah. I mean, again, I love Oswald, and I like the old school guys, and Duffy is the old school guy, so I like Duffy.
Oh.
But there was one thing that we did when we went there, and my wife loves patches. Like, she has patches on her backpack, and she wanted to get a patch, and they had one. It was mystery patches. I don't know if you saw these or not. So there were these mystery patches that you can get, and we wanted to get one, and I was going to get a couple because they're. Oh, here, let me go back to it. I'm sorry, I saw you leaning
Yeah.
in to see it.
Sorry. No. Yeah. I
Um,
want to look. Yeah. I missed out on this. Inform me of what I'm missing out on. And so I'm like, what merch did I miss? Let me see
yeah,
that. Thank you.
yeah. So this is a patch, and it was a mystery patch, but because there were, like, you couldn't like decide which ones you wanted because it was a mystery. It was like a blind pack. I was going to get a couple, and they would not let me get more than one, and they scanned my
Ticket. Yeah.
ticket because,
Your
again,
park
the
ticket. Yeah.
Duffy stuff is insane over there, with that merch. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
crazy. So
Yeah. You
I'm
got to get all that merch at once because once they scan your ticket, you can't come back in and buy more.
Yeah, unreal. But again, Duffy and Friends is huge. It was really neat to see all of that stuff as we were walking through. Here's some more Duffy and Friends. Like, they had this area, and again, it was right outside the shop and right
Oh.
outside where the dinner is. And again, I didn't do the dinner, but also, when it comes to shops, McDuck's is the place, right?
Yeah.
And so McDuck's
Yeah.
has a
McDuck's
ton.
and Aunt Peg's. Yeah.
McDuck's has a ton of the Duffy stuff, and they don't sell the Duffy stuff over at Disneyland. I thought that was interesting.
No.
It's only in this park that they sell it. But when you go into McDuck's, the first time we went into McDuck's, it was like, oh wow, this is a really cool store. Here's all this Duffy stuff. This is great. We were going to go back in, and it was on a queue system at that point,
Oh.
which I'm just like, I didn't expect there to
Yeah.
be a queue system post COVID. But I mean, we walked in the first time. Here's another thing that was really funny is, like, this woman, they were waiting in line to take pictures of their Duffy and Friends in front of the building. And so, like, she came, she put her two gelatonis who were dressed to the nines, they had little top hats on, down in front to take a picture in front of McDuck's. Like, it's like, it's unreal. It's cool. It's very cool, but it's also unreal, the love that they have for those characters over there. So
And stuffed animals in general, the plush
yeah.
in general too.
So here's my daughter getting, like, in that shop with a little picture in front, like, with Duffy. That was kind of cute. So there's the popcorn buckets. There's merch like this that you get, like, with food, like this and like this. that you get when you go through. There's and these are called like badges. Is that what they call these things that hang off of your bags?
I think so. I'm not totally hip to the language because I apparently thought this was I thought the little pin on the back was to make sure it doesn't fall off, and someone said no, it's so you can wear it a different way. So apparently I didn't even know everything
Well,
there is to know.
my wife also got these, which were the Lost Boys,
Oh
with
yeah.
the chain on them, and then I also got this one for Shariki, from the Tower of Terror. Which again, if you guys don't know, the Tower of Terror there is a different storyline. Oh, you got bears. Hang on. I got you.
Yep, I got Country Bears Summer Jamboree. So we got them in
Yeah,
their
it was Summer
little
Jamboree when I was there
bathing
too.
suits. Yes, I got the little outfits. Yeah, and I think I got another one somewhere. But yeah, I love this one.
Yeah, I got a Henry from Summer Jamboree. So the
Ah.
other merchandise I was really into were these things, these little cars, these little ride vehicles.
Oh, I get those. My friend that babysits my cat every time I go, I get those for him. So I always get to go and look it through them and pick out them and surprise him when I come back. But those cars are super cool.
These were 1,600 yen, and I mean, like I acted like it wasn't $10 a pop, and was just like, oh, it's funny money. It's 1,600 yen. It's no big deal. That's cheap, right? Let me just boom, 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 boom. Same thing with like the gachapon machines. I was just like, oh, that's only 500 yen. That's nothing. It's like $6. What am I doing? Like I'm just like boom, 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 again and again and again. So we did a few of
It's
those.
like three. It's like three.
Anyway, I did a bunch of those, but also I know, but they look like they should be a quarter.
No way.
So these cars right here, these vehicles I love, because this to me is great because there were so many attractions that were new that I had not been on. And so like getting the one with the teacup from Beauty and the Beast, or getting the one from Fantasy Springs, and this one's from the riverboat at DisneySea. These are the things that I bought the most of, probably these, and then of course like the little badges. I've got a couple of different ones of those as well. So
Those
that,
are
and then
expensive. Those the stuffed animals are expensive. Those are expensive. What are those
yeah,
like 2,300 yen?
this one was 2,000 yen.
2,000. Oh, must have been a basic Duffy. 2,300 is the premium
So
Duffy, the holiday
so
ones.
but this one, 2,000 yen. This is $12.50.
I mean,
So, but I mean, like I wasn't gonna do it, right? So anyway, yeah. So that's with the merch. The thing is with the merch though, and I think I said this on like a show and tell that I did, is the thing with the merch is it's not your standard fare. They don't do a lot with pins. They don't do a lot with t-shirts or spirit jerseys or Loungefly or those kind of things. They don't do a lot of that. It's really more the stuffed animals, the little cars, and then a lot of it's like stationery and pins and postcards and that kind of stuff. And there's not like a ton of clothes, and
and
I
it's a
don't know.
cultural thing too, it's interesting how you see what's trendy and popular and how everyone has to have the stuffed animals and the little badges and things like that, versus you come to the American parks and it's like everybody knows what a spirit jersey is here, and like you said, no lounge flies, no spirit jerseys, but everybody's got the badges and things like that. They even have CD listening stations, so you can buy CDs, but you can listen to them with the headset and check them out, which I'm glad I did because I always buy CDs when I go. And the one I saw the songs on the back and I saw Sinbad, I was like, I want this. Then I listened to it and it was like a music box version and not an actual like song version. So I couldn't
I
read. I didn't know that it explained that on the front.
I definitely bought a few of the CDs as well, because I do love the music stuff.
Mhm.
Here's a look down World Bazaar that I took, so that you can see what it looks like underneath. And then when it came to the merch that was there, I bought, or I thought it was interesting that they had ponchos in different sizes. Like if you go to Disney World, it's like maybe you have like a youth and an adult, and that's it. Also, these big, huge hats were such a big deal there. Everybody was pretty much Nick and Judy, like Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps, but they had them for Clawhauser and all of these others. That was another big thing because again, it's sort of adjacent to what you were talking about with the stuffed animals. Um,
And they like to match too. They like matching with their friends. It's always like groups that you'll see. Three boys will be sitting on the monorail together and they've got the same Duffy hat on, or couples that wear the Nick and Judy or things like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. For Halloween, they had like the flowers at the front were the
Oh,
vampire
cool.
Mickey. That was kind of
That's
cool. And
cool.
then right outside of the station, they had these posters for the attractions, and there's the one for the Stitch Encounter right there. If our friend Jake is watching, then he might lose his mind on that one. But they had the. I took a bunch of pictures of the attraction posters out there. Wish they had sold those. But again, it's interesting to me the difference because when I like popcorn buckets, that seems universal. These little car things that was different, and so that was kind of cool. These are from Tomy, which is a Japanese company. The stuffed animals, the badges, those were cool to get. But again, a lot of my souvenirs were these things, like the plate from Rapunzel and the teacup from Alice in Wonderland restaurant and the alien plastic bit and this tray and like a lot of that was the souvenirs I brought. So I didn't really bring back as much as most people would think because I am a collecting fanatic when it comes to things. I wish they had but my wife bought like a cool T-shirt and she bought one of those little Lost Boys hats that they had. And then again bought the little Lost Boys. I feel like again they're badges, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's anything else from the merch that you can think of?
Mm, no, I think we hit all the main ones that I can think of. I love the food merch. I love the merch where it's like a Happy Meal where you get your food and then you get the little bag or the little toy on the side. Feels like a Happy Meal.
Yep. Okay, so the other thing, just a couple other quick shout outs if you go. They don't do buttons, but they do stickers. Like if it's your first time, you can get a sticker that says it's a first time sticker. If you go to like guest relations at the front, we did that. We got the sticker, but I was hoping to get buttons. We didn't. They don't do maps, so I didn't have those. I couldn't do that. Um, basic Japanese, like the only thing that we ever said was arigato gozaimasu, which is basically thank you very much. So like, and they tend to, it seems like, appreciate when you go to that effort. I saw some TikTok where the guy goes, "Did you go to Japan?" He goes, "Yeah, I learned language." And he goes, "Watch this." He goes, "Arigato gozaimasu." You're welcome. Like I've done some great big thing in figuring that out, but um, that was important to us as we were going through to make sure to do that. And my son, who had studied Japanese a little bit in the past, knew a little bit and then tried to engage in some conversations along the way or kind of figure out a little bit more so what was going on, even though again it wasn't really important necessarily that you do that. There's a standard Japanese thing where you're not supposed to walk and eat and drink. I don't know if you follow that. They don't follow it as much in the parks as they do in Tokyo itself, but you're not supposed to like walk and eat and drink. And so a lot of times they recommend that you like pull over to the side and eat instead of like walking through the park. It is rude to do so. And again, in Tokyo, a couple of the different village like day trips that we took there, they were very specific that said do not walk and eat. If you get something at a stand, they have a place for you to go, and you eat it there, and then you move on. So most of the stuff was credit card. I know you had suggested to me that I do cash for the monorail
Gotchas.
and
Oh,
the
and the monorail
gachapon.
too.
Yeah, and the gachapon machine. So those were two things that we definitely did. People don't get loud. They don't do streaming in the parks there either. So like I didn't do any live streams when I was there. I think that's it's intrusive, and so I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's just not allowed, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's not allowed.
Um, and then I was trying to say wear comfortable shoes, take an umbrella, bring some cash, or, convert some money, but for the most part, you'll need the cards. Anything else that you can think of from just a basic difference from one to the next?
They have currency converters, but not ATMs at the hotels. They have ATMs in the parks.
Okay.
It's a really weird thing. I found that out twice the hard way. So,
Well, we went and I converted money here and then took it with me, and you take a little bit of a hit when you convert the money because they charge you for it, and then when you bring it back they charge you again. So like it's a losing battle with that kind of stuff. Somebody suggested to me I hold on to it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to hold on to that much money for, like, maybe I'm going back to Japan someday. So anyway.
well, there's a currency exchange here at the Florida Mall if you do feel like you need American money for it.
I was going to say they have it at airports too, right?
Yeah, but I mean, maybe you don't go to the airport just to change money. The Florida Mall, you're going to do some shopping, change your money, go do some shopping. They're very smart there. We got you. We'll convert your money. Go shop.
Well, Ed is in chat, said pretty sure there are YouTubers that stream Tokyo Disneyland. I don't remember seeing any though. I know that you could probably record stuff.
You can film. Yeah.
But
Yeah, you can't
I think
stream.
I think the problem is having those conversations is a little intrusive, but I never ended up doing that. So okay. Well, again, this went way longer than I meant to, Annie, and I apologize for that. I had a very specific jump point through this thing, but I feel like the problem is that there's still more to come. There's still more that you can do deep diving into each parks. And again, a lot of that stuff you have on your site. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Adventuring with Annie on YouTube, and then I have my Instagram and former TikTok, but Instagram for Fast Pass Shopping. TikTok and Instagram are Fast Pass Shopping, and I do post a lot of Tokyo content. So I do show the hotels. So I have different hotel room tours. So if you want to see the difference between a park view or a non-park view, I've got a lot of cool stuff there to help you plan your trip to Tokyo. So yeah, but I just did Disney. I stay in the Disney bubble in Japan. I'll tell you that.
Well, and I've got a lot of I've got a lot of content that I've been holding on to drop, and a lot of it is really more like you were talking about, is the extended Tokyo trip that we took, because we went and as a family of four, and then we divided up, each person took a day and decided what we were doing that day, and so that we mixed it up a little bit on, because we each have different interests. So I'll be dropping some of that stuff on our channel, the Park Adventurers Club. If you guys again haven't already, please subscribe. The Park Adventurers Club. You can find us anywhere on social at Park ADV Club, or you can find us at parkadventuresclub.com. I do want to give a big shout out to our pack. I see a lot of you guys in the chat tonight. We love our pack, and that's the Park Adventures Club. That's our little club we do. That's our Patreon. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to patreon.com/GoPack. That's PAC, and very special thank you to our Zero Mezzanine and Treasure Room supporters. And I know that I saw Jay Ware and also Jungle Cruiser on our call tonight, and Alicia was here, and thank you guys all for being members of that. I do want to give a quick shout out to, not a shout out, but a plug to what we've got coming up. Last Friday we did trivia. My son does a trivia show called Hakunima Trivia. He does it once a month. The show was last Friday night. It was a lot of fun. And if you get a chance, check it out. You can check it out. It's on the channel, but also we'll do another live. He does it live once a month, so look for that coming up tonight. That's Where You Are, the Park Adventures Club. Wednesday night we are doing a Look on the Plus Side, which is our movie review show, which we're tailoring more towards things that were park adjacent or park have a park tie-in. So this time we're going to do 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. We hope you'll join us Wednesday night at 9 p.m. And then Friday night is at 8:30 Castaways, which is the show where we interview former cast members, and this week it is Charlie that we are interviewing, or that Stephanie is interviewing on her show. And I know that Annie has been on not once. She's the only person, well, no, Ron has too, but been on twice because she was a cast member and a team member. So check those out as well. But let me just get final thoughts from you on this one. And again, thank you guys so much for being in the chat, for being in the pack, for being supporters. Go with over to Adventuring with Annie. She does live streams, like an incredible amount of live streams. And you guys need to check all that out. And we appreciate you, Annie, so much. Thank you for being on here and going through all this stuff with me. Any final thoughts on Tokyo? Some one last thing that you would say to somebody who's like, hey, I'm thinking about going to Tokyo Disneyland.
Just do it. Don't let anything stop you. You got to do it. Just do it.
Just do it. So
just do it.
Kind of like a Shia LaBeouf / Nike frame of reference on that one. So yeah.
What are you waiting for?
Exactly.
Just do it.
Yep. And, I would say the same thing. Like, I waited for a long time to do it. And then when we were ready to do it, it became COVID. Like, we were ready to go in 2020. We were going to go in summer of 2020, and that didn't happen. So then it was supposed to be for my son and his graduation, and he graduated on the couch because COVID. And so then when my daughter graduated, we were like, where do you want to go? We went to, she's like, let's do that Tokyo trip. And so the four of us went, had a great time. It was costly, but also so is a trip to Disneyland. So, that's one of the things that happens. And we really, a 12-day trip is going to do that for you. So I would suggest that if you're going to go, try to tie in a little bit more if you're paying that much to fly over there. And oh my gosh, a 13-hour flight is a beating. I didn't go first class. I know you probably do, but coach
Air Canada. I just go Air Canada. That's as close as I'm getting.
Okay. But leave us your comments, leave us your questions. We'll come back in the chat and we'll answer your questions. Leave us your questions in the comments and we'll come back and we'll answer them. And hopefully maybe we'll figure out another angle on this and do something else with it, Annie, but it's always great having you on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time. Have a great week. And remember, adventure is out there.